Hey guys, and welcome back to my weekly reading vlog where I jump on the camera every time I finish a book so that I can let you know my thoughts and feelings about it and also let you know what I'm going to be reading next. And for anybody that cares, it is Sunday, so I have my first update very early in the week this time, but I did finish Ashes of Honor by Seanan McGuire, the sixth book in the October Day series. In this particular series, we are following October Day, who is half fae and half human. She is a knight, and she kind of takes on these really weird problems because she's the one best suited to solve them. In this instance, there is another changeling. There is a changeling out there who has gone missing, and not only is going missing, but her powers are creating some very large problems because unfortunately, unlike most changelings who get very little power and like all kinds of limitations, she has a ton of power and no limitations, and it is causing problems. I loved this book. This morning I was like at page 125, and so that means I read about 225 pages in this book just today because I just blew through it. It was so good. We have finally hit the point in the series where we're just invested, right? We know most of the players, we know most of what's going on. So what we're finding out is like really cool backstory or some world building stuff that like there was no way for us to know before, or any of these things. And we're seeing relationships build and grow, and it's amazing. So if you've gotten to book 6, you're probably invested just like I was. And honestly, it just goes so fast. It is getting so good, and I can't wait to continue on with the next one. Instead, though, what I am actually going to focus on is Crooked Kingdom by Leigh Bardugo, the second book in the Six of Crows duology. I have already started this, and I am on page, one moment please, 265. So I'm almost halfway through it, and I'm on chapter 17. This is a buddy read though, and my buddy just let me know she's on chapter 27 and having a really hard time not reading, just finishing it tonight. So I expect she will finish it tonight, and I'm not even halfway through. So I kind of need to get a jump on it. It's okay because it's a reread for me, but at the same time, like, I don't want to be too far behind. So I am just going to go ahead and focus on this one for now. These are OWL reads, and so this one, by the way, fulfilled my transfiguration prompt, and with that I am actually now done with everything that I need for Cursebreaker, which is my chosen career. So everything else I read beyond this is just for funsies. So this one is going to be for care of magical creatures. Again, I don't need it, but I'm going to do it anyway. So there you go. I will probably be done with Crooked Kingdom pretty quickly. Like I said, it is a reread. It does read really fast, and I'm going to focus on it because I don't want my buddy to be too far ahead of me. So you should have another update from me very soon, but until then, guys, bye. Hey guys, it is Thursday afternoon, and I finally have an update. I actually read something that I haven't mentioned before, and that is In Sea Salt Tears by Seanan McGuire. This is a short story set in the October Day universe, and it is meant to be read between books 5 and 6, and I finished it, and it was delightful. It is about the Lushak, and it is about her falling in love and having it go horribly wrong, because of course it did. It is a very short story. It does explain some relationship backstory from some characters that we met in the 5th book, which is why you should read the 5th book at least before you dive into this. But I did like it. I thought it was really interesting to see this perspective on the Lushak that we have not yet seen before. I read this, and it is going to count for my History of Magic OWL prompt. This is a change because I was originally going to read Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince, but as I'm looking at how much time I have left to complete out my OWL prompts, I am realizing that I needed to make some changes if I wanted to actually complete them all. I'm just running out of, I have far too many books. I don't have enough time. So I decided that I was very comfortable with switching this one out for a short story. Clearly it still counts. It is an item on Goodreads. That is the measure of whether it counts for the OWL readathon. So it counts. Yay. And I finished it and I really enjoyed it. And yeah. So, okay, let's update you on the thing that I was supposed to be reading, which is Crooked Kingdom by Leigh Bardugo. I have read absolutely nothing since I last talked to you. So this is like, I updated you on Sunday. It is now Thursday, and I have read nothing. And this is why I decided to switch out my History of Magic prompt, because I just haven't gotten any further. I'm not really sure why I'm not really motivated to read this book. I just know that it is. And so in an effort to help me read this book, I'm actually going to pick up a second book. And usually when I pick up a second book, what I end up doing is alternating chapters between the two books, because I generally enjoy at least one of them. And even if I don't, just for some reason, the transition, switching back and forth just really helps me get further in a book that I'm struggling with than I would otherwise. So I am going to go ahead and pick up Magic for Nothing by Seanan McGuire, the 6th book in the Encrypted series. And in this particular series, we are following a family of cryptozoologists who are studying the monsters and enforcing laws and all this kinds of stuff. The monsters that we don't even know exist. And in this particular book, the youngest Price child, Antimony or Annie, is going undercover, and she is doing this while dealing with some physical issues that she hasn't told her parents about, and everything kind of goes from there. I'm being a little bit cryptic, a little bit vague, because it is the 6th book in the series. This is a series that builds where this plot actually builds on itself, so I don't really want to spoil the earlier books in the series with my description, but there you go. I am excited to read this. This has been on my monthly TBR for a couple months, and I just haven't gotten to it. So I am excited to finally get into it. I really am excited to have Antimony as our narrator. I have been kind of waiting for this in the hopes that I like Antimony better than her 2 siblings. And so, yeah, I'm going to have to trade off between these 2 books. I am hopeful. This one, by the way, is going to fulfill my herbology prompt, which is to read something whose title starts with the letter M. So there you go. I am excited to get into it. And that's all I got. Hopefully I will have another update for you very soon, because I finished something. We're hoping. Fingers crossed, guys. Okay, bye. Hey guys, it is Saturday night, so it is time for my end of the week update. And it's also a true update because I finished 2 books. I did it. I finished them both. So let's start with Crooked Kingdom by Leigh Bardugo. This was awesome. So I had stopped reading it because I wasn't liking it. But the part that I didn't... Okay, so I was slowing down reading it because I kind of remembered what was going to happen and I didn't like it. But it turns out the part that I didn't like didn't actually last all that long. So once I finally got through it, I was fine again, and it was beautiful, and I loved it, and I read it very, very quickly. So, yeah, I read it, and I liked it. I was actually doing this I was rereading this duology with the intent of figuring out if I liked it well enough that it gets to stay on my shelves, and yes, they do get to stay on my shelves because I did like it. So, there you go. Now, this means that my Care of Magical Creatures OWL prompt is now done. For anybody who doesn't know, the Care of Magical Creatures prompt requires you to read a book that has an animal with a beak on the cover. So that's done. And the other book I finished was Magic for Nothing by Seanan McGuire, the 6th book in the Encrypted series. And when I mentioned this book in my last clip, I said, like, I am so hopeful that I will like Antimony, because I haven't liked either Verity or Alex as the narrators up until this point. So I was just like, maybe Antimony is my person. And I am so glad that I got to this book, because Antimony is very definitely my people. I really, really like her. I especially like her as a narrator. Even the things that are more like negative aspects of her character, I totally either I'm fine with it or I totally understand where she's coming from. Even as I'm like, okay, you're you're 22, you're gonna make bad choices. So like, I really, really liked this. I really liked the plot and I liked the pacing and I liked the characters and it was just a really good time. So clearly it was good because I finished it in like 2 days. Anyway, so this means that I have now finished out my herbology OWL prompt, which is to read a book whose title starts with the letter M. So there you go. Herbology is now done. So next I am going to focus on The Masked City by Genevieve Cogman. I have not gotten very far in this. I think I'm like less than 50 pages in. But I am going to step up the pace. I was reading this with a buddy, but my buddy hasn't been reading. She got bogged down in schoolwork. And so she's given me the go ahead to just go ahead and read it without me. I'll catch up later. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead and read it. I am enjoying it. I just haven't been focusing on it at all because I really didn't want I didn't want to get too far ahead of my buddy. So now I am going to go ahead and focus on it. This is going to fulfill my astronomy prompt, which is to read a book when it is dark out. So because that means that I can only read it pretty much at night, I do need a second book because I like to read during the day as well. So the other book that I'm going to pick up is Rush by Eve Silver. And this is the first book in the game trilogy. And in this book, our main character of Mickey Jones is, I believe, gets hit by a car, but she's kind of left broken in the middle of the street. Next thing she knows, she wakes up in a game lobby. No idea how she got there, didn't even know that was possible. And she is being thrust into this world that is very much kill or be killed with absolutely no training. She starts asking questions of her team lead, the leader of her team, because he seems to kind of maybe know what he's doing. And he just doesn't answer them until one day he lets it slip that all of their actions in this game determines their survival, but also determines the survival of their planet. And then it goes from there. So in case you can't tell, this is a YA science fiction. I mean, it's so over the top, but I am excited because I think that I will still get a very good story. This is a concept that I have seen before, even if I haven't read a ton of it, but I'm excited to see what Eve Silver does with it. And this book will fulfill my very last OWL prompt, and that is for divination, which was just to let the random number generator choose your book. So this is what came out. There you go. That's it, you guys. I have 5 more days left of this month. I am very hopeful that I will get through those 2. If I do, that means I have finished all my OWL prompts, which would be amazing. So we will see how that goes. But that's all I have. So until next time, have happy reading, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.